Alright boys, welcome back to another video. Knicks Daily here. Today we're going to be discussing the remaining NBA free agents, and I'm going to give you my honest opinion on if I think the Knicks should sign them. But first and foremost, we've got to look at, do we have any open roster spots? Because that's the first and most important thing. So Jalen Brunson is going to take up a roster spot, obviously. He's our superstar franchise player. Mikal Bridges, OG Anunoby, Julius Randle, Mitchell Robinson, our starting five right there. And then our sixth man, I would say, is Dante DiVincenzo. Seventh man, Josh Hart. Eighth man, Miles McBride. Ninth man, Precious Achiuwa. 10th man, Cameron Payne. And then in terms of the 11th, I mean, to this point, it gets kind of sticky. You know, Tyler Kolek. We've got Jericho Sims. That's going to be 12. 13, Keita Bates-Diop. 14 and 15, I think, is just completely in the air right now. I think Pacome Diadier starts in the G League. Ariel Laporte, our second round pick at the end, is going to be in the G League. So we do have that's right, Chuma Okeke is a guy as well so that's 14. So we only have one spot right now. And yeah, one spot. So okay, we'll give the one spot to one of these players. So John Wall and Isaiah Thomas, immediately we can cross off because we just don't need guards right now. If we do bring in someone, it's going to be a center or it's going to be a wing. So, you know, Dennis Smith Jr., former Knick, no. Like Landry Shamet, no. Victor Oladipo, no. TJ Warren's kind of interesting. Doug McDermott, we already have enough shooting, I think. So, no. Juan Toscano-Anderson, no. Wesley Matthews, former Knick, no. Isaiah Livers, Nazir Little. Kevin Knox is actually really intriguing. I'm gonna say yes to Kevin Knox. So whoever I say yes to, we'll put them on a list and we'll break it down. But Kevin Knox to me is extremely intriguing because he's got the size, right? I mean, Kevin Knox is 6'7" with a 6'11" wingspan. He's just 25 years old. He's a former first-round pick by us, number 9 overall. Knox was a little bit streaky in the summer league. He'd have a great performance and then a bad performance. I mean, Kevin Knox is your 15th man. I mean, I don't think it gets much worse than that. I like that. I like the upside, and I feel like if there's injuries, he could come in and play. Daniel House, former Rocket, Justin Holiday, Reggie Bullock, I'm going to say yes. So, you know, Knox and Bullock, I would definitely like. You have Bullock who can defend and he can shoot. I think, honestly, he could be a big piece for us. Thanasis Antetokounmpo being on this list is just a joke. O'Shea Brissett, I would say yes. I like O'Shea Brissett. Thaddeus Young, no. Marcus Morris. I mean, he played so well for the Knicks, but I'm going to have to say no probably. Isaiah Mobley, Jay Crowder. Jay Crowder is a yes to me. Robert Covington. I would say yes for Rocco. JaVale McGee's a yes. Boban is like a maybe. Montrezl Harrell is no longer available. He signed with another team, not NBA team, but Harry Giles, Bismack Biyombo. I think it's going to be hard for me to go against Kevin Knox because his size and he's got ability. Like, I think Kevin Knox can play, and I like his attitude. And just to see him come back, right? A guy that was a bust. Let's just get that out of the way. He was a bust. One of the many guys like Frank Ntilikina, for example. The Knicks just made these first-round picks, and they just weren't great. But I think Kevin Knox, he comes back, and I think he could honestly give us something. Like, a lot of these guys aren't going to give us anything. You know, JaVale McGee would be interesting because he's got size, and he's a solid veteran. He was a part of, the Warriors when they won a championship, so he's got a lot of playoff experience. You know, Robert Covington, like, there's just like a guy like Robert Covington. If he was a vet that could still give you something, I feel like he'd be signed, right? That's why I'm looking at Kevin Knox, because he's just 25. No, I don't know how old Reggie Bullock is, and Robert Covington. Robert Covington's got to be like 33, 34. Bullock is 33. Robert Covington is 33. Okay, so, I mean, if the Knicks were to add a guy, I don't even think I would want it to be a veteran. I think I'd want it to be somebody in their mid-20s that still has potential, that can still have a lot of upside. And the only guys in this list that are like that, I mean, like, how old is O'Shea Brissett? I think he's in his, like, later 20s. Oh, he's only 26. Okay, so O'Shea Brissett is 26. So Brissett and Kevin Knox, to me, are the guys. And Brissett, for his size, he is 6'7". His wingspan isn't listed. So, yeah, like, I think a wing is what the Knicks need. Because going back to our depth chart, at the guard position, guys, Brunson, McBride, Devo, Campaign, Tyler Kolek, You know, Mikal Bridges is more of a 2 and a 3. We don't have we really can't afford to be bringing in a guard, right? And even like at the 2 guard, well, you know, everyone I just named could play the 1 and the 2, so it's interchangeable. And then at the wing, OG is a guy that has injury concerns. So now you've got, you know, Josh Hart, you know, Bates Diop, you know, we've got Kiki, and like there's just not as much. There's really not as much. You know, Mikal Bridges is like can play everywhere, but we'd rather just kind of keep him at that 2. So for some reason, if OG were to get injured and miss time, which I think it's inevitable, I think he's gonna miss at least some time. Well, all of a sudden we put Josh Hart in the starting lineup, and then we've got Kevin Knox, Bates Diop, Okiki, like all these guys that we can run off the bench, and we're just keeping guys fresh, right? We don't want Josh Hart playing 40 minutes a night if OG gets hurt. So I really do like the addition of Kevin Knox, and it's not going to make a lot of sense to Knicks fans because of how his tenure went with the team, but covering him this summer for the Warriors Summer League team, I think Knox can still play. I think having him as your 15th man, again, guys, he'd be at the end of our rotation, literally. I mean, that's pretty awesome. Like, there's a lot you can do with that. And just to see one of our former draft picks come back and be able to contribute would be good as well. Because there was that stretch for the Knicks where, man, it couldn't have gone much worse. It was just first round pick after first round pick not working out, seeing us pass on guys like Donovan Mitchell, for example, and Michael Porter Jr., just guys like that ended up helping their teams win. For Porter, helping their team win a championship. For Mitchell, one of the best players without question in the league. I mean, let me know your guys' thoughts. But yeah, this list isn't that bad because you have to understand that it's not like the Knicks need some of these players to come in and contribute right away. They just need guys at the end of their bench for depth. And these names are exactly good for that, right? And I do think some of these guys will ultimately get signed. I mean, it's only September 11th when I'm recording this, so like I think eventually, ultimately, some of these guys are going to start getting signed. But for the Knicks, why not, you know, get one of them right now? You know, why not go out there and get your choice at this? But maybe the Knicks are saying, hey, look, we'll just roll with, you know, Pacome Dadier. We'll roll with Ariel Hukporti, one of these younger guys. Maybe the Knicks have another idea. Maybe they're going to sign someone overseas. Who really knows? But for me, I mean, I think Kevin Knox, he's just the guy that excites me the most here. I would say second would probably be O'Shea Brissett. Third would be JaVale McGee. And then after that, there's really not much. Like, we're talking about Jay Crowder and Robert Covington. I mean, guys that have playoff experience that can come in and knock down some shots, I think would be big. I mean, you look at a guy like Alec Burks kind of comes to my mind, a veteran who's played in a lot of games for different teams. I mean, just somebody that can come in and knock down some shots. And, you know, Kevin Knox, I think, is a guy that could do that, but also is young, and we could continue to develop, and he fits our time frame. So, yeah, guys, Knicks Daily. Never thought I'd be making a Kevin Knox video in 2024, but here we are. Peace.